Hello everyone and welcome back to La-Mulana lore. This week's lore episode is going to be entirely focused on the story of the game, primarily the Philosophers. Upon achieving the Ocarina, we gained the right to talk to the 4 philosophers from the 7th generation of children. As seen through multiple tablets throughout the game, the philosophers set up many of the puzzles and trials in order to find the one person who's truly capable of setting Mother free from her agony. The philosophers, alongside Mulebrook and Zelpud, are all part of the 7th generation of children born of the Earth. The tablets give us a general framework of what the philosophers are planning, but each one gives us specific details on how to solve the mystery of the ruins. The first philosopher we meet right next to the Ocarina is Al-Sadana, the philosopher of death. Al-Sadana outlines the general purpose of humanity. Mother would give birth to various generations of humanity in order to help her return to the heavens. Each generation gains their knowledge and culture from the ruins, which is plain as day when we see the level designs. Humanity would be then thrust upon the world in a way to find a means to save Mother while themselves prospering, but Mother has become too vast and became quickly apparent that she could not be saved. With that in mind, the philosophers came to the solution that a peaceful death would be better for her, rather than waiting for eternity in order to succeed. The second philosopher that we meet in Spring in the Sky is Giltorio, philosopher of knowledge. Gil lays out the tragic history of the ruins. Whether it be by pure happenstance or from the nature of an intellectual race, mothers failed time and time again to return to the heavens. Each race she creates would fall to ambition and wind up triggering Armageddon via Mother's wrath. The philosophers realized this and strived for their generation to live with nature as the philosophers themselves developed a technique for helping to lay Mother to rest. In order to do so, modern humanity would need to be born without the knowledge of Mother's existence. The philosophers felt that the only ones who could muster up the will to release Mother were those that had no attachment to her, hence why the 8th generation of modern humanity was made. The technique laid out for summoning Mother's spirit would involve using the Djed's pillar to drive 8 specific spells into her body to reveal her true form. Alongside that technique, Mulebrook mentions that the Holy Grail holds a special power when used alongside another item, but that'll be covered later to avoid spoilers. The third and final philosopher that we've met so far is in the Tower of Goddess, Samarantha, the philosopher of power. He doesn't have much to offer knowledge-wise, though he does recognize Lameza as the one who has the ability to release Mother from her suffering. However, Sam unlocks a puzzle where Lameza must balance aspects of the heart in order to achieve the ultimate weapon of the game. This could be considered Samarantha's lesson. Only one who can achieve true balance between their heart and mind can attain true power. The philosophers in the 7th generation strike me as an interesting race since they're one of the only races that value survival over progress. Rather than trying to fulfill their imperative, they simply chose to live a life with nature and not get wiped off the planet. However, they still wish to help Mother in a different way, reaching their own conclusion after observing many generations of failure and suffering. The main concern I have, however, is this truly right? Many subtle hints exist that lead me to believe that there's a slight chance that the philosopher's final conclusion may not be the best one, let alone an earnest one. For one, all the tools necessary for the mantra spell are all in cursed chests that require a talisman to uncurse. Another slight hint is that a tablet in the Tower of Goddess openly questions the reader on their intent for Mother, which is rather suspect since every other tablet of this nature is usually from the philosophers. Finally, this hint is somewhat of a stretch, but according to Mulebrook, the number 7 in the La-Mulanese alphabet can be translated to deception, which leads me to believe that either the philosophers or the 7th generation as a whole is up to something. And that's it for this week of La-Mulana lore. Tune in next time for a crash course in Indian mythology. There's a lot of stuff.